Hello everyone, welcome back to Base Damage, and welcome back to Community Fridays. This week we have a deck posted in the Discord by cktmexico. We jokingly refer to him as Narissa's dad, and he posted up several versions of this particular Makeine deck, and he said this was the final version, the final cook on it, so he wasn't planning to cook with this one for a while. But I figured, okay, well, now that we have its true final form, let's go ahead and take a look at it today. This set just recently dropped in English, and there's a lot of really funny shenanigans that goes on with the Makeine set. In particular, the deck name alludes to something that is going to happen with a particular effect coming up, which says too many losing levels. It'll make sense in a moment here. So let us jump right into it. So the core of the deck is based around 4 standby and 4 pants, which is completely understandable. There's a particular level 3 you're wanting to get it out very, very early, but we will talk about her in a moment. Let's start with this one. The double peace sign Ana is a 3/2/10k. Placed on stage from hand, choose one of the following effects and perform it. Your opponent returns all cards from their stock to their deck, shuffles their deck, and puts the same number of cards from the top of their deck into their stock. This is referred to as stock shuffle, not stock swap. 2 different effects there. Draw up to 3 cards, choose an equal number of cards in your hand, put them into your waiting room. So you draw 3, but then you also have to discard. If you draw 3, you have to discard 3, but if you only draw 1, you only have to discard 1. Okay. And then on attack, you can pay 1 stock. If you do, you twin drive, which is performing trigger check twice. So really nice there. And honestly, very understandable with standby in general. Standby and choice both love twin drive effects. It just is really, really nice for them. So, all right. 3 copies of Introverted Girl Chica is a 3/2/5/5. If you have 4 or more adolescence character, I read adolescence and my brain immediately went to Bunny Girl Senpai, and I'm like, hey, I know it's not, but it's just funny. Anyway, minus level in hand, very easy early play condition. 2 or more other adolescence characters, this gets 5k power, so she'll be a 10/5. Placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1 stock. If you have 2 or more other adolescence characters, heal 1, and then you pay 1 stock. Sorry. If you paid the 1 stock, perform the following action. Put up to 2 cards from the top of your clock into your waiting room. Then deal 1 damage to yourself X times. X is equal to the number of cards put into your waiting room by this action. Once again, I know I said this, and I may have to message Mexico and, figure out why you run this. Because, I mean, I would assume you just early play heal and then you just never do the pay 1 cost. I'm still confused on that. Maybe someone can explain why you do this, or maybe Mexico can just fill me in on why you would do this particular effect. It's just really funky. Anyway, let's continue on. 2 copies of Undefeatable Gluttony Ana. It's a 3/2/6/5. This gets 2k power for each adolescence character in your level. Very interesting experience effect. It is so as long as you put characters in, she'll gain an extra 6k, so she'll be a 12/5. But would you believe me if I say she can get even bigger than that? We'll explain in a moment. Placed on stage from hand, draw up to 2, and then discard 2. Put up to 1 card from the top of your deck into stock. When this card attacks, if you have 2 or more other adolescence characters, you can discard 2 cards. If you do, deal X damage to your opponent. X is equal to 0 if the number of adolescence characters in your level is 2 or less. It's equal to 1 if the number is 3, and it's equal to 2 if the number is 4 or more. Interesting. So, enough dilly-dallying around the alluding to effects here. Perfect Body Ana. I would not agree with that, but 3/2/10k. If this card is in your memory, you do not lose by reaching level 4. You lose when you reach level 5 instead. It allows you to go 1 level higher, and we'll explain how that works in a moment, how she gets to memory in a moment here. But because of that, effects like this, she gets even bigger. You can potentially have 4 characters in your level because of that effect, because of that one making it so that you have to go to level 5 to lose. So that means you can try to burn for 2 if you play this when you are at level 4. So it's just really funny. And the concept of being able to go to a higher level it is just really, really interesting for Weiss in general. But yes, when this card is put into your memory by the effect of any card except herself, Perfect Body Anna, put this card into your waiting room. So you can't cheese this in by like other weird means, or even if your opponent somehow, for some reason, like your opponent has an effect that's like, pick a card in your opponent's waiting room and toss it into memory. It would get rid of it immediately. So at the end of this card's attack, if That's the Trouble with You, which is the pants trigger, is in your climax area, choose one of the following effects and perform it. If the turn this card was placed on stage from your hand, you can pay 5, put the top 3 cards of your deck into clock, so you deal yourself 3 damage. If you do, put this card into your memory. That is the first effect. So it has to be the turn she's played on stage from hand. There is no getting around this in terms of, like, even with standby. There's still a way to get it out early with standby, and there's other cards that can get it out early anyway. But at least if you standby out the card, you can pick the second effect, which is deal 2 damage to your opponent. So, moving on, 3 copies of Before Farewell's Chica is a 2/2/5/5. All of your characters in front of this get 1,000 power. During your climax phase, when this card is placed on stage by the effect of Whereabouts of the Feeling of Love, if you have another Adolescence character, you can pay 1 and sack the climax. If you do, choose one level 2 or lower Adolescence character in your waiting room and put it on any position of your stage. So this does let you try to get other characters on the field, specifically level 2 or lower. So it's kind of whatever. You're going to, in like a standby deck, you're going to have other level 2 targets, put it that way. But you're going to summon this off the standby. You're going to pay 1 stock and sack the climax. She's probably going to be in the backstage, and then you summon something in front of her, which is totally fine, totally understandable. And there, like, obviously in a, like, say, like an 8 standby deck, you're going to have other level 2 targets, but so we do have to be mindful. Their other level 2 targets are not going to be super big, I don't think, unless this does. Okay, this actually does kind of become big. Okay, this is that. Okay. Night of the Canned Up Training Camp. Oh no, I don't remember. I never finished watching this particular anime, so I need to go back and finish watching it. Say 2/1/3/5. During your turn, this gets 6k power. So if you were to summon this off of the 2/2, she would get 1,000 in front, so she'll be a 10/5 by herself. When this card becomes reversed, put this card into your memory. Memory effect is, if your level is 2 or higher, choose up to 1. You can pay 1, put this card for a memory into waiting room. Choose up to 1 Perfect Body Anna in your hand and put it on any position of your stage. So, a couple things. So if you do stand by this out, or you stand by this out or whatever, and you're able to get this on field, the moment she gets reversed and dies, my phone's buzzing. The moment she does, she goes to your memory. You can then, if you're somehow still level 2 the next turn, you can then, if you have the climax combo, use the effect, summon this particular level 3 from your hand. It fulfills the condition, and then you're able to go off to the races, and you can make it so you have to go to level 5 to die. So, moving on to the level 1s. 4 copies of Admirable Junior Chica is a 1/0/1k. During your turn, she gets 5k, so she'll be a 6. When this attacks, if you have another Adolescence character, pay 1, look at the top card of your opponent's deck. Put it on top of your deck or enter their waiting room and perform the following action. You may reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is an Adolescence character, put it into your stock. So a little bit extra stock production, which you do need a little bit. You do need stock for the particular level 3, so understandable there. 4 copies of Tasty Cannoli? I don't know. Chica is a 1/1/5/5. This is your typical standby target. If you have 2 or more other Adolescence characters, it gets 2k, making it a 75, and it has character encore. So, 1 copy of the, not the anti-change, I'm sorry. I know they told me there was a level 1 anti-change in Makeine, but this is the free 2k backup. Personality straight out of a dirty comic, Chica. So, which is really funny where it says out of a dirty comic, and then it says when someone comes on to me really hard, I can never say no. It's like, that could be taken out of context very easily. 1 copy of that. Oh, okay, so here is the anti-change. Baggy Disguise Ana. It's a 1k backup. When you use this card's backup, you can pitch 2 cards if you do choose an opponent's character with a level higher than their level and put it at the bottom of their deck. Honestly, bottom deck anti-change backups are very, very nice. 3 copies of Progress Supervision Kaiju. I almost read that as Kaiju, and I'm like, I know that's not correct. 0015. Placed on stage from hand, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room. If there's a climax amongst those cards, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 Adolescence character from amongst them, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. So you dig, and then you could potentially dig even more and plus off of it if you mill a climax. Little Sister Connected by Fate Kaiju is a 0015. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If that is an Adolescence character, put it in your hand, then discard a card. Your typical really, really good like hand filtering, and the second effect is also just as good for like standby decks in general. On play, pitch an Adolescence, draw a card. Just being able to get all of your like standby targets out of your hand and into the waiting room, just being able to filter through the deck, really nice. Understandable, mandatory 4 copies of. 4 copies of Low Energy Nurse Gal Yumeko, 0035. She do be looking just... she'd be looking dead. You cannot play events or backup from your hand at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase. You may move this card to an open position of your center stage with a character facing this card. So she gets big, or she is big, but you can't play events or backup from hand while she's on field, but she can also run. So 2 copies of Ana Yanami is a 00500. This is your climax swapper. On play, pitch a climax to salvage back 1 from waiting room. I do have to specify, I can't just say climax swapper anymore because there are climax swappers that swap from the deck. So it is something that I have to like be mindful of. When this card becomes reversed, if the battle opponent is level 0 or lower, you may put that character at the bottom of your opponent's deck. Just bottom deck bombs, just really strong. So this is also something just very, very nasty to look out for. 3 copies of Soaring Appetite Ana, 00500. So this is where they've added in like the little clause effects of like once per turn is just for this effect. When your other character becomes reversed, if you have 2 or more other Adolescence characters, you may draw a card and then discard a card. Very nice. So it's not like you could just hand filter constantly on your opponent's turn or even during your turn. Like if they were to reverse all 3 of your cards, you only get this effect once, and you get to choose when that happens. So Brainstorm, pay 1 rest, this mill 4 for each of your climaxes revealed. Choose up to 1 character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. Very good salvage Brainstormer. And as stated before, 4 copies of the Standby, Whereabouts of the Feeling of Love featuring Chica, and 4 copies of That's the Trouble with You, the 1k1 Pants trigger, showcasing the Ana Climax combo. And that is going to end it for us today. Thank you very much once again to CKT Mexico in the Base Damage Discord for sharing this. If you would like to also share your own deck profiles to potentially be featured on a Community Fridays video or something, feel free to join the Base Damage Discord. Link for it will be in the description. And there are 2 different channels that you feel free to post in. I also would politely ask that please only send deck log links. I'm sorry, I know people like Encore decks, and that's cool. If you want to share that, by all means, go for it, but I probably won't feature it on a video because it's just much easier. I like the format of deck log, just being able to show off like this. But feel free to post either in the Community Fridays channel or in the Decklist Submissions channel. Either one's totally fine. Feel free to post in there. And if I like it, I'll make a video about it. But yes, thank you all for watching very much. I do greatly appreciate it. Stay safe and remember to stay based.